morning to set out on my journeys. Thank you. Please, people, continue to hit that like button. Keep them subscriptions coming. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to my fans, my audience, and my listeners, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to all my followers. Thank you to the new followers. I've seen some new subscriptions. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. Keep the topics, always comment. I don't have a problem with your comments, whether negative or positive. Okay, I got an email, and this topic was thrown at me. This was really friends potentially are trying to be a couple, but I believe they're having a little issues, and so they just said, Mr. Nino, would you talk about this to the best of your ability or what you really think about this? And the topic is, should a man be in a friend zone before relationships? Let me repeat that again. Should a woman and a man be in a friend zone before a relationship? It can vary, but actually, no. Now, some people might say yes, but actually, no. It is not necessary for a man and a woman to be in a friendship before they get serious. Before beginning a relationship, while friendship can be a building block for a relationship, it's not a go or a for sure. And it can set back the development of a romantic connection. Friend zone is often when there's two people. There's one person that wants to get serious and possibly want to take it to the next level or want it to heat up. Then there's one person just say like they just want to keep it straight up vanilla. They want to keep it simple. You dig what I'm talking about? They might, for instance, you might be friends or cool, or you might see a little female that you and her communicate a lot. And you might be liking her a little bit. You feel like it's a serious connection. Y'all have chemistry, and y'all can start something up. But that just only you feeling that. In her mind, she's feeling, well, he's a good friend. He's probably like a brother. Remember, fellas, when the females that you're trying to probably match up with and start something serious with, like a relationship, refer to you as a brother or something like that, that's really just kind of in the friend zone. Not saying that it won't happen, but right now, right here, right then and there, they're not seeing you in a romantic way. They just seeing you as a friend. It could be, maybe y'all need to work it a little bit. Maybe y'all new to each other, so maybe she's not moving with the feelings as fast as you moving. Because a lot of times, I think fellas get caught up in feelings faster than a woman. Even though a woman is most sensitive and supposed to be the one that has feelings, a lot of times when a guy sees a real nice, attractive young woman, a lady, or no matter what she is, he automatically want to take it, try to step to her, shoot his shot, and want her for him. He want to talk to her. He want to be more than friend. But a lot of times, women, especially if they have been through something, they're gonna kind of, slow it down. They want to get to know each other, because a lot of times most women just don't want to react of being in a serious relationship after one or two encounters. They kind of want to feel out the process, see what's going on, really check out who you are. Because remember, you always can make a great first impression, but that don't mean really that's who you are. That's why people say, well, let's meet, let's go out, let's date, let's talk a little bit on the phone. So basically, that's a friendship. A lot of women, a lot of people, they're looking for a relationship. When a woman and a man can be in a friend zone or be in a relationship, the one partner just want to chill and just be cool, laid back, and be mutual to each other, while the other partner want to try to start something up serious, and there's not nothing wrong with that. Generalizing relationships from friendship is prohibited. Let me say that again. Generalizing relationships from friendship is prohibited should a woman and man be in a friend zone before a relationship. Unrealistic expectations. On one end, you may have one person, as I just said, in their feelings. And on the other hand, you might have another person just want to chill. They don't want to start nothing right now. And you got to accept that, because I have seen you don't want to trust. You don't want to rush and try to make somebody get into a relationship. Take your time. If it's meant to be, it will be, So you don't really want to rush or nothing. Stay as a friend. And really, people, think about it. It's cool if you just want to be in a friend, stay in the friend zone. Because I think a lot of time, people want to jump into a relationship because they really want to get intimate. That's just me speaking. But we all know that it don't carry no weight. Friends get intimate and jump in the sack too. That's why I believe a lot of times people will say, and they're broadcast, and they'll put out there that sex is overrated. Because really, a lot of time I think people do jump in relationships because they just want to, they want to jump in the sack with somebody they see that's attractive, and they want to, get down with them or, have sex with them. That just be point. That just keep it 100. So that way, they'll try to be like, well, let's just jump in a relationship where friends will have sex with each other, go on by their business, and it don't mean nothing. So that's how I look at it at that too. Hurt and disappointed should a woman and man be in a friendship before a relationship. Hurt and disappointment should a woman and a man be in a relationship before should a woman and a man be in a friendship or a friend zone before a relationship. Starting up as friends, then all of a sudden, dramatically, one reason wants to take it to the next level can end up turning into resentment, hurt, sense of rejection, which most people can't adapt to, making the transition only very complex. Starting up as friends, all of a sudden they want to try to speed up things. That's where you might get your feelings hurt. Because, again, the one individual might just want to keep it as friends. I believe if you really want to be in a relationship with a person, whether it's man or woman, just come out and say it. Just speak your piece. Nothing wrong with jumping the gun. Why not rather be honest than playing along, trying one angle where you're trying to just be a friend, but you really want more than that. And then when the answer is given that you don't want to hear, then you feel a sense of rejection. You feel a sense of being hurt. Just say, even if it's early, hey, I'm digging you. I know it's early. I really don't know you. What's the chance of us taking this to the next level? Now, again, in the early stages, most women, if we talking about the man that is chasing a woman, going to say, no, it's too early. Only time, basically, when a woman, and I'm just going to keep it a buck with you, man, that when you first see her, she's quickly, after becoming a relationship with you or something, she wants one or two things from you. Either she thinks that you're a trick, or she's trying to get some money from you. Because it happens, but you really don't see that love at first sight narrative no more. I believe if you do see it, because women can be digging you and they can be liking you, but they gonna expect the man to make the move, so they won't say nothing. The lady will just sit back, play her position, and can be feeling you, but she wants you to hunt her. She wants you to pursue her. So she's not gonna say nothing. remember, it has also been said, and it's also a fact that I have known through research, within the first few minutes of when a woman meets a man, she knows if there's going to be a possibility of them can get something long term, or just going to be, well, now I'm just going to keep it in the friend zone. Now, she might not say nothing, because remember, a woman always checks the man out from his feet to his head, not from his head to his feet. So, fellas, if you strutting up in there and you see this dope woman that looks sexy and everything, have your shoe game on, have your clothes right, you know, be groomed up and nice, be smelling good. You got to have all of them go together. You can't have on no fly clothes, no dope clothes, have a nice haircut, and your shoes are jacked up. Or you can't have on no fresh pair of J's, or, you know, some new LeBrons, or some fresh tennis shoes, some Nikes, or whatever, you know, some Balenciagas, or whatever you rocking on your feet. And then your fit is a misfit, which means your clothes ain't right, you know. You ain't got your groom right, your hair looking all scraggly, you ain't groomed up, whether you have a beard or whatever. All of that has to be have to be in order. You have to have all of them together for that to go down. So just remember that. Building a romantic connection, the friendship, the friend zone, the dynamic may present an uphill battle or purposely promote the necessities, attraction, and sparks for an intimate relationship. Yeah, it might be a little work, because remember, they also said for anything worth getting, you're gonna have to work for it. Now, me myself, should a man be in a friend zone before a relationship? I'm cool with taking my time now, because I haven't got older. And a lot of times I used to be impatient, but I see patience is a virtue, because you really don't know about people. You know, you can see this fine dime, they got it going on, you know. I'm talking about, you like how she talk, you like a swag and all this. Vice versa with the women toward the men. You know, they saying the right things, you know. They get into the bag, you know, they hold attraction. You like their attraction mentally, physically, and all. But you really don't know them, because you only have been out, you only been around them, you know, for, a few times. So you got to get to know people, you know. You got to know their mental health awareness. And a lot of people now have to, you know, dealing with mental health. Like I say, you can come out and you can see them at first, and y'all can go out a few dates and whatnot, and they can be on the good end of things. So their mind state is great, but you need to fill them out a little bit, you know, check them out, as well as they need to do that with you, because when you first meet a person, you really don't know what they got going on, you know. They don't really know what you got going on. And so, saying that, I see now it ain't nothing wrong with starting out as a friend. Though being a friend doesn't dictate a relationship, because it don't. Because I have seen people that met each other and could stand each other. And I'm talking about could stand each other. It wasn't volatile or nothing like that, but they would just seem like they were the total opposite. You know, they didn't really communicate well or nothing like that, but went on about their business. As time turned, as the hourglass went, as time consumed, they end up being together. So you don't have to be a friend, but then again, it's not nothing wrong with being a friend, or the process of getting to know each other. So, you know, that's the crazy thing about that. And then again, on the process of knowing each other, that's a crapshoot too, as I'm going to explain a little bit later. So, you know, that's just how that goes down. Misinterpretation of signals and antennas should a woman and man be in a friend zone before a relationship. It can be tough, It can be a discernment, real romantic interest from just being friends or friends' actions, resulting in not seeing two things the same, or the wires can get crossed. Yep, because again, one person can be going down one path, and another person can be going down another path. But that's why I believe you communicate. That's why you talk it out. And sometimes when you have some people that go in opposite ways, that is an attraction. Because remember that saying, we have talked about that. I know me and my partner David and talked about that on his podcast. Opposites attract, but then opposites won't attract. But see, a lot of times a person becomes attracted to you when you're not doing the same thing as they do, because it's the irony of the difference that gets them. A lot of people are bored with the norm. And when a person is doing the same thing that they, of another gender that they are doing, that gets boring to them. See, people like curiosity. They like something they're not comfortable with. They like something that they are unaware of. They like something that they can't figure out a lot of times. That's the attraction. If it gets bored and it gets bland and you can always figure it out, then it gets boring. But again, you can't get your wires crossed. You have to sit down and communicate. Everybody has to have their antennas adjusted and turned right so the right signals is given. If we just gonna be these friends for right now, then we just gonna be these friends. But if we maybe be starting out as a friend zone, and then we see some sparks, some chemistry, we talk it out, and we go through a little trial basis where we say, well, we gonna start going out. We might start trying to act more like a couple than just like a friend. Because again, friends can date, just like couples can date. I done took out a lady plenty of times that she was just my friend. We went out to eat. We went to a movie. I didn't get no action, but it was well expected. We went on by. I took her out to eat. We went to a movie. We went home. I seen her to the door. I jumped in my car. I went on my way. She went in her little crib. She went on her way, and we were still cool. She called and texted me, made sure that I make it home okay, and I responded yes, and I appreciate it like that. And we still friends, because again, I'm gonna say this too, and I think this is where people get it mixed up. Just because a woman is attracted to your friend, or your friend that had a relationship history with this certain woman, I think a lot of fellas get it twisted a lot of times, because they think, well, if my partner got with this woman and birds of a feather flock together, meaning I'm partnering with this dude, she gonna give me a chance. But that's not necessarily true. It was something about your partner that intrigued her and made her want to be more than just a friend. Where it was just you, she just wanted to be a friend. But that's cool with that. It ain't no problem with that. The risk of manipulation should a woman and man be in a friend zone before a relationship. Nobody wants to be played, tricked, or manipulated, basically when they're trying to develop a genuine relationship. So, if one person plans to influence another person into a romantic friendship, acting as a friend, then that's not genuine. That's not giving off genuine vibes. That can lead into a bad approach. I mean, don't try to be a friend and you really want some more. Again, if you like this person more than just being a friend, well, tell them. But don't go in it with this approach, well, I'm just going to be a friend. Now, I'm trying to get her to let her guard down, or vice versa. The woman liking the dude, so she trying to get him to let his guard down. And then ultimately, you're going to try to make your move on her. Or if you want to pivot, she's going to try to make her move on the guy. But her best way of doing this is being fake you know, and trying to be a replica of something else, in which trying to be a friend, in which meaning they really don't want that. Be a friend if you're going to be a friend. If the other comes, then just let it happen. What I'm trying to say, just roll naturally. Don't try to dictate it. What they say, just relax. Go with the flow. I have been told that by a lot of females. I remember back when I was young, and I used to see females that I really wanted to holler at pretty fast, you know, because they was attractive, you know. You know us as men, we like a female, we see her attractive, we want to try to get her, you know. She had that body, she was smelling good, she was cute, hair was on fleek, all of that. So now, I'm trying to quicken the pace. I'm trying to turn up the heat. I'm trying to go fast. And she was like, nah, I'm not feeling it. So first thing I say is, what is it? You're not attracted to me? What is it about me? Is it my fault? It's not really, I'm not attracted to me. That's what she told me in her response. But just go with the flow. Let me get to know you again. See, much as getting to know you, people throw out there, they stand on that. They want to get to know you. And I get it now because times is crazy now. But I'm going to sum it up on about that getting to know you. I just ain't got to it yet. I'm going to get to it in a little bit, believe me, because I know a straight factor about that getting to know you. Even though everybody want to use it, and everybody preach it, and everybody want to practice it, but that getting to know you can be an advantage, but then again, it can be a disadvantage. It can be what needed to be done, or it can be the remedy for the purpose in which that what they needed to do, but also it can backfire too. And I'm gonna get to it. Friendship can strengthen a relationship should a woman and man be in a friend zone before a relationship. The first piece of expression, getting to know somebody, as I just said, before putting themselves potentially deeply into a relationship, and when the friend zone is so transparent, doesn't mean the relationship is going to accelerate any further than just a friendship or a friend zone. Yeah, a friendship can strengthen a relationship because a lot of people have started out as friends. A lot of people have been friends for years, and then they have dated for years, and then they finally get to the pinnacle, which is they get married. So they went through process, and it's not nothing wrong with that, because I believe they really was just trying to see, is this really the one? Because think about it too. If you start out with friends, and then you trying to get to know somebody, and then you try to push that envelope and say, well then, you want to ask the female or vice versa, but most of the time, we going to keep it a buck, man. We the hunter, so we both are going to step to the female. So I'm just going to use that narrative right there. Most of the time when a man want to ask the female, hey, can we get a little bit more serious? You know, can we take this to another whole ballpark? Can we, you know, up the stakes on this a little bit? And if she says no, that doesn't mean that you still can't be friends. Just because a woman don't want to be in a relationship with you doesn't mean she doesn't want to be your friend. And then a lot of times, I believe the woman, when she tell you she don't want to be in a relationship with you, a lot of times, I know us as men, we don't like rejection, but it possibly is not rejection. She probably just got out of a relationship. She don't want to move too fast, or she has had something that really has her kind of fragile now. See, her guard is up. So she's trying to build up again and be solid as a person, as herself, before just get into a relationship. Because a lot of time, a relationship, yeah, you have to consider the partner that you're going to be in a relationship, their feelings, their mental state, their physical state, finances and all that. But also you have to have yourself together, your mental health, your mental state, your physical health, how you doing financially, your jobs and all that. So once, self, one's wellness toward each other has to be factual as much as one wellness affects another person's wellness from themselves, and you have to put it all together. Again, it's layers to this. So, but if a woman tells you no with the relationship, fellas, and I know it's hard because I know a lot of times we're attracted to that, and we're hunters, and we're territorial as men, and we want that. And so if she says no, we thinking now, well, all bets are off. Everything is thrown out the window. I'm going to give up on her. I'm going to throw away her number and all that. Nah, don't do that. If she wants to still be your friend, be your friend. Be her friend. It might be cool. Be tested. Just give her a little time. And I know patience is a virtue, and that's something I have learned because I'm really, basically have been a very impatient person. But now as I got older, I have learned how to be patient. And it's a real big attribute that it is. It's a real big attribute. You can believe that. Now, should a woman and man be in a friend zone before a relationship? Now, let's get to that getting to know somebody. This big thing about that. Now, certainly, with getting to know someone before a relationship, let's pause and address that. Let's do this. Getting to so-called knowing somebody. Really, do you know the individual? Really, do you know the individual? I have seen people in a romantic relationship, after like 6 months to a year, going through that little filling out process. Now, the filling out process, again, is getting to know each other. We're going to take our time. We're going to go out on a couple of dates. We're going to go to a couple of functions. We might take a little vacation. We're going to see how you are. We're going to see how each other act when it's a little adversity. We're going to see how each other act when, when it got a little heated, when your temperature is up and all of that. Because everybody can be on all cylinders. Everybody can be on point when everything is smooth and gravy. But we want to see what's going on when things are not at the best of going on, or, when it's a little problem, or things are not going as planned. Taking their time, so they're deciding to go ahead and begin a relationship after that 6 months of filling out, in which a lot of people say it takes longer than that. But, they had that little 6 months to a year filling out process, so they decide to go ahead, get in a relationship, because now I think I know this person. I done gave him a little time. But Steve Harvey had that little book about the 90-day thing, the 90-day rule or something like that. I never really looked at it, but I thought a little bit of it was like 90 days, kind of like a probationary time when you get a job. I guess what he was trying to say, 90 days is you get to kind of see your partners from the outside looking in, see the do's and the don'ts with them. See the yeses and the no's when it comes in. But anyway, so after 2 months into the relationship, after they went on to start kicking it, all kind of toxicity occurred. Lying, deception, mental abuse, to the point, just that abruptly, they had to set an appointment for counseling. My point is, when you say you get to know somebody, do you really know somebody? Sometimes, if you feel like this is the person you want, this is what I'm trying to prove here, react spontaneously. Go for it. If you done met him for a week, if you feel this the person, you ask him, you want to marry him, or you tell him, hey, I want to marry you, I want you the woman I want to be with it, go for it. Because whether you know a person 5 minutes, 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 years, do you really know him? Remember, that guy that's smiling, got that nice, neat haircut, always dressed, fitted, fresh, nice suit on, nice and clean, always speak nice English, proper etiquette, and all of that, behind closed doors, can be public enemy number one. Where that other guy that sometimes, he can be a little bit off key. English is kind of broken sometimes. Every time you see him, he's not groomed up well, and it's not because he's not, he don't go get groomed, but you might just caught him in between getting a haircut or whatever. What I'm trying to say, that guy, that presentation that's not always astute, on point. He ain't on top of his game. He's not looking dapper Dan like that first guy, and he could be, the sweetest, most genuine man around. He could get his shirt off his back, very kind and considerate, open the doors for you, very respectful, not disrespectful. So, again, that's all I was saying about this, especially when it comes to women, because they the one that bark out that narrative, I need to get to know you, and stand on it real firm. I need to get to know you a little bit. But do you really know a person? People have known people for a small amount of time, a marginal amount of time, got with that person, got married. They didn't have no spats or nothing. On down the line, now they married, comfortable. Now, all of a sudden, that husband, that was the perfect husband, the perfect man, the perfect gentleman, the perfect protector, the perfect provider, he's a monster. Things can come out. So don't be mistaken. Don't be blind. Because sometimes it's okay to react with spontaneity. And it will work. Just like sometimes you don't want to react too fast and things can happen and you really don't know. Should a woman and man be in a friend zone before a relationship? That begs to differ. I would say no, but then again, it's not nothing wrong with it. Because you ask the majority of these beautiful women out there, they're going to say, well, if we ain't in a friend zone, we're going to do that one thing. I need to get to know you. 2 cents. This is my podcast. I'm Nino. Thank you.